Lotioning his hands. It's very impressive.
If I was y'all, I would be impressed with me.
We're lagging a little bit. Hang on. Here we go with this shit again. Let's go to Task Manager real quick.
Too much power, dog.
I haven't done anything. I'm upgrading to Windows 11 soon, man. I'm being honest. Kind of tired of it.
One day, you just got to take that leap and hope it's the. I've been avoiding Windows 11 for a long time.
I've used it enough at work. It's fine.
Yeah, it's way past the threshold of being fine, I think. Because you know how you just got to wait a while and let them work out all the kinks. And
Chat, are we lagging at all?
Chat, give me some feedback, baby.
I'm moving back and forth on purpose to make sure I'm not lagging before we get started.
Give me some feedback, chat.
Audio, video lag, nothing like that, right? We should be good.
Don't lie to us.
Just doing this on purpose. I'm watching the playback on stream and I don't see anything wrong. We're good, okay. I'm getting a little bit in OBS, that's why I was asking. That's fine. As long as it's not here.
You see me? You see my bacon? You see it shaking? No? All right.
Jesus
All
Christ.
right. Obviously, it's going to be a tough crowd today. I feel like it.
I'm glad you know where you lie, man, with your nonsense.
I am just a lovable oaf trying to get by.
Here we go.
What?
Lovable oaf, he says, chat.
Look, chat. Lotion.
Just don't be a Picasso, chat.
The best lotion. This is not an ad. I shouldn't be showing nobody this. Y'all not paying me.
Giving up free ad space.
I know, man. Get that out of here, man. Get that lotion out of here, B.
Chat.
Get that lotion out of here, B. You know what go together like bread and butter? Black people and coconut.
What do I get a strike for? I didn't do anything. I refute. All right, everybody get started, man.
Anybody been playing Power World? Can we get some ones in the chat for Power World?
Pokemon with guns, nothing.
Greatest game of all time?
Nope.
Game is awesome. You just need a starter kit before you start.
Yeah, see, no thanks, man. Cool. I watch people play it. I don't have enough time.
They kind of don't
like
tell you anything, but once you basically all you gotta do is just chop down trees, build your bed, and it's typical. If you played Valheim, Legos, it's the typical thing. Build your bed, build your little workbench, and then go around and catch little, whatever they're called, pals.
Catch your pals. You beat them up and you catch them with Pokeballs.
Yo, I just realized that their name is pals.
Yeah, you're beating your pals up and you can make them work harder. I mean, honestly, like all jokes aside, it looks like a fun game. I just don't have enough time in my life for it. Like I think I'm gonna just stick to the Monster Hunter.
Because he's a Mon Hun.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna stick to
that.
Are
you the Mon father?
All right, now we're gonna get started, chat. Thank y'all for hanging out today, man. Welcome to the Super Weapon Podcast.
Jesus Christ. See how this guy does his friends? Holy I asked a simple question here.
Nah, man. I'm not the Mon father. No, thank you.
And before we get started, let's welcome back Veronica. She's here.
Oh, you didn't fire her again. Oh, man, awesome.
No, she took the mask off. I told her it had to go. All right.
You can't do that in the workplace.
No. It's my workplace. Look, we have I let her slide with it for a long time, but October was like 8 months ago. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Take care of yourself, chat. Yeah, let's get started.
She was wearing that thing since October. Halloween doesn't last that long.
I don't know what's wrong with this guy today, man. Something's really wrong with him.
Hey, man, I get hype when we talking about the big box, baby. What are you talking about?
Phil in the box brigade, man. All right, let's get started. Holy shit, that's a lot of good B-roll there.
Oh, I leave it all in too.
Hello. Welcome to episode 176 of the Super Weapon Podcast, most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius Artist, and as always, got my co-host DC here with me today.
What up, though, good people? How are you out there?
Happy Saturday, man. And, let's say a big, I don't know, what is it now? Restore the Roar? We got to give a quick shout out to them
Mm,
Lions, man.
let's go Lions,
You know,
baby, and
I,
we in this thing.
I know we don't have a lot of, we may or may not have a lot of NFL sports, American football fans, for his listeners, but I got DC, man. He's been fighting with this team for a long time, man, and they're making a little noise right now. I really wanted to know how you feeling, man. I know you said you went
Hey,
out.
look, baby, Let me
You
tell you
know,
something. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. From birth to the dirt is what we say around here. All right. We with the Lions, win, lose, or draw. Look, when my team's sorry, when they good, we in this thing, baby. We in this thing. And tomorrow we play Tampa Bay. This is not a sports podcast, but I just want to throw it out there. I think we could beat them. Everybody. Actually, you know what? I will say this. I haven't told like people every time I wear like my Lions paraphernalia around town. I get high fives, man. Like people be like, "Hey, man, y'all looking good, man. Y'all gonna beat the Bucks, man." Blah blah blah. Like I've been getting I've received no hate. Like a lot of people have been like, "Yo, yeah,
y'all
man,
the
we want
Cinderella
the Lions
story,
to win,
man.
man." And yeah, so it feels kind of good, you know what I'm saying? But we taking it a game at a time, and
Look at this
whatever
guy,
happens,
Coach
happens, man.
Speak. Nah,
No, with the
man, that's
Lions, you
awesome
really
though.
do. Every game after like our season, after the season was over, all this
Yeah.
is a bonus at this point.
Nah,
We're happy
honestly,
for.
man, like I'm just happy to see, like, for like I said, for those guys who don't know this, me and DC, we love our respective sports teams, man, and I think the Lions did a great job hiring who they did, man. I'm really curious to see what they do, man. I'm rooting for them boys. They're gonna be back in Detroit again this weekend. I know the city probably going pretty
Oh
crazy.
no, they're trying to be louder than what they broke they broke a record for loudest stadium or
See, look at
something.
that, man. That's beautiful
And
right there.
they're trying to break that record. Like they're telling people to like suck on the halls, get your throat ready. This sounds crazy, I know, right? But we're not gonna take it there. But they're telling people like, yo, we need y'all louder than what y'all was like last week. And I'm like, bro, are y'all trying to break the sound barrier? Like,
All right,
what's going
shout
on?
out to them boys, man. Shout out to the Lions.
Hey, shout
Hopefully,
out to Dan, man.
Dan
Shout
Campbell
out to
get
Dan,
him a
man.
lion. That's all I'm saying. Get that
Shout
guy
out
a
to
lion.
Dan Campbell, man. Hey, I could talk about it forever, but I'll just say this, man. That guy has been instrumental in hyping the young boys up, hyping the team up, building up
That's awesome.
morale, getting the city behind the team. And then Lions fans like, well, I can't say that because Lions fans always turn up, man. Like we always there, like even in the darkest of times. 0 and
You,
16. Dan
ah.
Campbell, he played
He
for
played.
us
He
when we
did
went
play
0
for
and
that team,
16.
man. I think it's all fate for him, man. And
Yeah.
how has your brother been during this time?
Since the Eagles haven't been soaring.
Yeah. Has he returned to his roots to root for the Lions, man?
I won't allow him to. No, stay with Philly. You stay over there, Bucko. You stay with them Eagles. Don't come bringing that loser juice over here, okay? But
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
man.
even he tried to have like some nice words to say. And I
Yeah.
said, I wouldn't accept it. Me being the fan that I am, I will not accept Philly. And also, one of my coworkers is a Packers fan, and she was like, "Are you going to watch the game?" No, I'm not watching no Packers. All right, keep your cheese. It's all about the roar, baby.
Well, we're gonna restore that roar, man. See, they firing on all cylinders, man. I just, I we don't get to talk about sports and the things that we actually enjoy outside of gaming, and I think it's kind of fun to talk about that stuff, man. Shout out to the Lions. The Falcons themselves may hire one of the oldest coaches in the league, but if let me
I
tell you,
wasn't gonna bring it up.
nah,
I wasn't gonna bring it
it's
up.
fine. I'm not gonna get into it. I believe in my boys. That's all I'm gonna say. But
You got to, man. Win, lose, or draw.
yeah,
You got to stay there for your team, man. I respect that. Like, that's one of my things, man. Like when we went 0 and 16, boy, you know how much flack I caught.
that's
Oh
it.
my God. I
Yeah.
was walking around with my Barry jersey on, just getting roasted to
Dale Berry,
oblivion,
man.
man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's
Do it for
shout
Barry,
out to my
man.
wife in chat too. She talking about it as well. She got her own comments about that certain quarterback, but or
Hey,
the head coach, excuse me. But That's not what we're here for, man. We talking about the Lions firing on all cylinders, but you know who else is firing on all cylinders? Xbox, man. They had a developer direct this past week. You know, starting off the year, you know, they did this last year. They had a smaller direct, had a couple of games that they showed, kind of gave us a picture of what the year's gonna look like. And you know, I personally think they started off pretty strong, but you know, I wanted to know, man, how did you kind of feel about it, man? You know, we kind of we were texting a little bit back and forth when they had it premiering, but how you kind of feeling coming out this year, you know, for 2024 for Xbox?
I don't know what rock I was under or whatever, but I didn't find out about the direct until maybe like a day before,
Yeah.
something like that. Shame on me. I'm supposed to be in touch with all this stuff, but hey, my mind be fried. Like I have so much going on. But it was a pleasant surprise. When I heard about it, first thing I thought about was hell. Excuse me. Hellblade was the first thing that I thought about when the
Mm.
direct popped up on my timeline. I was like, yo, they either have to show a little bit more or there's going to be some kind of Hellblade hype, right? So that was my first thoughts going into it. Then I started to kind of break things down. I was like, okay, what exactly can they show us? I was expecting a little bit bigger of a showcase considering how many studios and stuff they had. I thought they were going to go a little bit more in depth into what everybody was kind of like working on and I mean, I say that not to like sound disappointed, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
sure.
But this was just my initial thoughts. So I thought that they were going to like kind of branch out into that direction and show us like, oh, this studio's doing this, they're doing this, blah, 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 blah. But what they did show us was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was giving us a little bit of hope, letting us know that, hey, we are working on games. We just still, logistically, we're still trying to figure things out, put the pieces together and get this train going, but we are working on games. This is what we have coming out this year so far. I think there's going to be a few more things added to 2024. It
Hmm.
seems like they're trying to strategically spread the butter. When I look at the dates, you know, it looked like they're trying to like spread it as much as they can so they can kind of hold down the year with their offerings. And yeah, a lot of people from the temperature that I was checking online, it seems like a lot of people kind of sit in the middle. A lot of people were like, okay, cool. A lot of people was like, I want to see more. Or certain games they necessarily weren't filling. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I say a little bit over half of it interested me as far as the games go. There was some stuff. This doesn't mean it was bad. It was
Right.
just not in my wheelhouse. Like it wasn't something that it's not something that I go run into. Like the kind of the command and conquer type game that they showed. You know,
Yes, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. See, and that's
yeah.
I'm glad you kind of you know broke it down the way you did because I thought it was a pretty interesting show from. It's just like kind of like you highlighted, right? Like you know we got some hard dates. You know we got some ranges on things that they've kind of been working on since they've acquired a couple of studios, and I feel like this is the year the Xbox is gonna really start to kind of show what some of these other studios are doing. And shout out to Weenie and Darkstar and chat. How you guys doing, man? Thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys are listening to the audio version, we record this live every Saturday, man. You guys got to get up in the Super Weapon Discord. Follow us on all of our social media.
One quick thing. Hey, Dark Star, you fell asleep on me yesterday when we were supposed to play Monster Hunter. But yeah. So what were you saying? Yeah.
But no, man. You know, I thought this was a pretty good show. I mean, they kind of came out and announced what they were planning on showing beforehand, and I'm glad we finally got the date to Hellblade. You know, that was probably the biggest highlight of the show for me because we've been kind of talking about it, going back and forth about Hellblade. But after seeing their portion, and I guess we can kind of talk like individual, like you know what we thought, but I was expecting. I'm actually kind of surprised that Hellblade. First of all, it's going to be digital only. You know, so it's only going to be $50.
Oh yeah. I thought
You
they
know,
said 40.
No, it's like $49.99. So we can,
Okay,
you know,
you're right,
say
you're right.
50. You know, you can just say it's $50, and
50. Yeah.
and you know, I know a lot of people were kind of upset about this particular point. You know, we've talked about it here before, man. You know, we're starting to move more and more towards that all digital future, and you know, it could be a good thing. You know, if it kind of helps reduce the prices of some of the games that are coming out. You know, especially these AAA, quadruple A titles. You know, it sucks, but you know, this is kind of just like the future we're looking at. I think it was you or New Era I told Best Buy. For those of you guys who don't know, Best Buy is getting rid of their physical media. They're going all digital this year. So it's just how do you kind of feel about that? Like, are you gonna miss like physical media? Because I know you're somebody
Man,
who collects. You still have a lot of your original Xbox games that you bought.
I kind of sit in the middle, right? Because I do have a lot of Xbox 360 physical media,
Yeah,
and I was the first one on board with the whole digital downloads. And then after talking to our good friend Dave and like kind of seeing his collection,
yeah,
I thought it was dope to have like physical copies like him. And then if you guys follow Huggable Hipster, she has like literally a library of like physical media, like all her games.
right.
And so I thought it was cool. So I was about to kind of get back into the whole physical copy thing. But now, like, I don't know. I think I'll do it until they stop doing it. But I was really on board with the digital media because I just thinking, oh, it's so convenient just to, download a game and play it.
Right.
But I do kind of want to go back, see, like, I don't know if you can see it on the camera if you guys looking, but I even have like this right here. I have the whole Halo collection,
He does.
physical copies right here. Like every Halo game, I have a physical copy of because I'm just such a big fan. I think where we're headed in the future, I think it's just easy. It cuts back on cost. I think with all these layoffs and stuff and what's going on is kind of playing a part in why people are kind of getting rid of the physical media because it does cost money to like print this stuff up. I say print it up like it's paper, but you know what I mean.
I mean essentially,
like,
yeah, you are kind of printing it on a disc. Yeah.
yeah, and then you got to have
sure.
distributors and stuff, and that kind of it's a double-edged sword because you kind of cut out the middleman and you save money, but at the same time, like you have places that's going to suffer, the Best Buys and the game stores. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much any
They're
retail,
gonna
yeah,
suffer.
like retail.
Yeah.
locations.
It's once again, it's just another hit on retail. But I truly understand like the collectors out there and the people who collect physical copies. I have a few friends who do DVDs like that, who have massive DVD collections, and people feel like, when you go digital, they feel like you don't really own it. People
Yeah.
really want to have that physical media and to see it go, because it's going to go. I truly believe that maybe in a couple of years or so, it's slowly going to start fading away. And it's going to be an end of an era, man. It's just, times are changing. Unfortunately, this is part of it.
Yeah, and it sucks, man. People like you and once again, shout out to Winnie in chat. I'm not gonna say how much his collection is worth on recorded, but he put a number, and it's not a small one. So, but I just feel like that, and I'm kind of like with you, man. We kind of grew up in that physical era, that physical media. And there is something to be said about you owning the game. Once you actually purchase it, put it in your hands. I mean, you had Sony, the whole thing with their movies and stuff a couple of weeks ago. That kind of had people scared that stuff that could just disappear. And I know there's no real right answer to what is coming, but I think something cool that I would love to see. I don't know, like as far as like legal stuff goes, but maybe if you could pay extra money to have a physical copy printed for you. And sent to you, or something printed on a disc, like I would be willing, and I'm sure some people would be willing to pay extra $5 or $10 a game if they're priced reasonably, of course.
Oh, so like just get like a physical copy sent
Right.
to them or something.
Yeah, to get like a physical, you know what I mean? Like, because I know like that's the whole thing is like money. They don't make a lot of money on like physical sales much anymore. I mean, a lot of people do buy digital games. I do myself. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't, but I think a lot of people are just kind of disappointed, especially with Hellblade. And I don't know, like, if you feel like this, but I kind of feel like Hellblade really, we propped it up to kind of, put it against your Spider-Mans, your God of Wars, but just kind of like watching the presentation and seeing what their goal is for the game, I kind of look at it like its own separate thing now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it has that pressure. Like, it has to be a hard 9 or hard 10 out of 10 for it to, be a successful Xbox first party title anymore. Especially with them saying like the game is going to be similar length to the first game. I'm still kind of excited to play it, but I don't know. Like, do you still kind of feel like that? Like, do you feel like it's going to be that quote unquote, God of War, for Xbox essentially?
I think this is where we differ. I think this is where we have different opinions. I still kind of believe that this one, it has to be like, in my eyes, it has to be like a hit. It has to be a mega hit for Xbox. I feel like now, as far as we're talking about, because I was leaning more toward the actual gameplay a little bit as far as the comparison to God of War. I kind of retract that statement a little bit because it doesn't seem as hacky slashy as a God of War game. But as far as like the popularity and where we need it to be, it does have to have that popularity of God of War or a Spider-Man or one of PlayStation's Mount Rushmore of great games that they have over there. It has to have an effect. It has to have that, hey man, have you played Hellblade 2? Like, it has to have that, you know what I'm saying? It has to have that popularity to it because Xbox definitely just needs that push. I think that, and I know I'm jumping ahead here, but
no, go ahead, man.
I feel like the Indiana Jones game can also be that for them.
Oh God, it looks so good, man.
Yeah, it looks fun, man, and I like the direction that they went by going like first person. I really, really like that direction, and I know it's kind of hard to pull off combat and pull things off in a first person view mode, but I think what I've seen with the whip, the weapons and stuff, is looking real good. Unlike Avowed, but we'll get there.
See, we're gonna talk about Avowed. Yeah.
We're jumping all over the place, but
we can talk about indie, man. Like, as somebody who I really feel like I'm a casual kind of. I've seen most of the movies, of course. I get a lot of the jokes, the memes.
I've never seen the movies.
You've never seen an Indiana Jones movie?
I've never seen Indiana Jones.
Okay, see.
Chad, don't take my movie card.
You see what I work with here, guys? I just
uncultured swine.
But I'll kidding aside, man. Like, your Uncharted, your Tomb Raiders, those games kind of got a lot of their inspiration from that genre of movies. That treasure hunter. I'm a scientist. I'm a professor. Excuse me. Very smart historian professor, and I also have all these amazing talents and skills. It's it kind of came from that genre, but Indiana Jones, I think they did a really good job being like authentic with what the spirit of those films and the spirit of those like other the spirit of indie is. And I've never played you're talking about the first person, like Machine Games. They made a lot of those. They made those Wolfenstein games. A lot of people really love those games. Those are first person. I wasn't really worried about it myself, honestly. I think it looks more, and I hesitate to say it's like a movie game, but I like it, like.
And I think that gives it two different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Because you're talking to one person who knows the lore and knows the history,
Just not, yeah.
But at least you like, so look, only thing I know about Indiana Jones is a whip, all right? And I think I played like the original Indiana Jones game like on Nintendo or something way back in the day. But
wow.
I think that with me coming in with a fresh pair of eyes, maybe that's why, because how people, they'll go in a game and they'll kind of like destroy it, like, oh, this didn't happen or blah, 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 because
I got you, yeah.
The game takes place in the middle of two movies.
Yeah, it's between two of the films. this is like a younger Indiana Jones, and they had Harrison Ford's likeness, which I thought was pretty cool. For those of you guys who don't know, Harrison Ford has played Indiana Jones for like 6 decades or something at this point. He's been around the block for a little minute, man. Shout out to Harrison Ford. And they have Troy Baker or Joel from the Last of Us video game series, and a couple of other high profile like voice acting gigs. He's the voice of Indy, and I think he did a good job, man. Like I said, it just felt very, and not like a disrespect, like like that B movie popcorn. You start off with him in trouble, but I just think it looks really impressive. Like I really am excited to see more of this game. I like the part with the puzzles and how there's some stuff that's going to be hidden. Because you guys know me, like
and then the fact that they gave you an option for the puzzles, I think it's like if you want to find the really really cool stuff or expand like the world or your gameplay, you could do these puzzles and get these achievements, and they don't force feed it to you. Because I remember back in the day when you would play a game like Resident Evil or something, and I literally would just get stuck on a puzzle for like days. Like there was no internet or nothing to help you. You were just literally stuck there. And I kind of like want to give ourselves a pat on the back, because man, we would figure it out. It would take us forever, but we're like, come on, like something has to make sense.
Talk to some of your neighbors or your cousins or something.
Or people who were playing it. Like you go to school, like, yo, I'm stuck on this part. Oh, you didn't get past that? You got to do this, or you know what I'm saying? It was just like, or just waiting till like the next Nintendo Power or something come out, like with the pages. Remember walkthroughs on pages? That's disgusting work right there, boy.
Good old gaming magazines, but now they're dead forever. So unfortunate.
Another era, oh man, fun times. But yeah, I feel like, and this ranch sauce that I had on these tenders, man, is just burning my throat. I don't know if I'm allergic. I'm just over here dying right now. Right? Dying for the man. Look, we live and die for the podcast right about now. But yeah, I feel like Indiana Jones could be one of those ones as well for Xbox. And Hellblade definitely has my attention. I started back playing part 1 and just really realized that I live alone and I don't like it. I live alone and it's scary. Like I'm playing this game and it literally starts messing with my mind. I tried, like, true story, right? So I went back and was playing Hellblade 1. And after I got finished playing it, like I was in the shower and I started hearing voices, right?
Oh no.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm just tripping because of the game. So I went in my room and I'm reading my book, my little usual bedtime routine. Man, I'm starting to hear voices. Like this game literally just be destroying me, man. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to just play through it. I'm just gonna have to tough it out. But yeah, that game is really a trip, man. It's really, really, really freaky.
It is, man. Like the whole, the whole psychosis episode and stuff that she has, just the mental health issues that they portray in the game. I do, and that's, let me clear it, man. Like I think Hellblade 2 is gonna be a fantastic game. I think it's gonna be excellent. I'm not disappointed that it's gonna be a shorter game. I feel like I know the conversation is going to be kind of surrounding it, right? Like it's going to be a great game, but people are going to move that goalpost because it's going to be Xbox. And I feel like, I'm hoping this year is the year that, with them showing the diversity of games that they're planning to release this year, that, the conversation kind of changes around that, because we talk about a lot here, man. Like, Xbox is more focused on their services. They're more focused on expanding their digital repertoire, their network outside of just the Xbox, man. I mean, hardware sales are kind of, they're down every year. Every generation there's less and less PlayStations and Xboxes purchased. And we're just they're focused on the future, and I think we're going to start to see. Hopefully, we start to see a lot of smaller titles like that. Everything doesn't have to be 80 hours, 100 hours, for you to enjoy it. But I'm
as
definitely
a grown person, I am definitely okay with that.
Right.
As a grown adult, I'm definitely okay with games being a nice bite size.
Right.
It's all about the quality. You don't have to be massive. You don't have to be a massive game. I went to check out Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is on Xbox Game
That
Pass.
game's huge. I know it. I haven't even turned
And
it on yet.
like soon as I started playing it, I was just like, what the hell? I was like, I'm not gonna play this game. This is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
Ubisoft, like, come on, dog. Like, y'all just be making games big for the hell of it. Hey, but you know what? Respect, man. I guess they trying to make sure you get your $70 worth. I don't know. But if you get a nice amount of content,
Yeah.
that's a good week or two of gameplay, solid gameplay, I'm okay with that. Like, you don't need to be playing a game for months. I mean, it just depends on the game. Like, games where you play anything over 2 weeks, to me, is either like maybe like a FPS,
Looter,
battle
your looter
royale.
shooter or something.
Yeah, or
VR, yeah.
RPGs. Like, RPGs is something that you have to sink your teeth into. Those, to me, I've always grown up thinking that RPGs are like those type of games that last a long time.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, because it's just like being an adult, like, I just can't, you just have to manage your time properly, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's going to take me like 2 years to beat this game because I can only play an hour on the weekends or something. But yeah, man, it's just, I feel like this Direct overall, I'll give it a thumbs up, definitely. I liked everything I saw, even with the Square Enix game. Let me look in my notes here.
Visions of Mana. Yeah, we can actually. I'm so glad you brought up Visions of Mana because I did want to talk about this too.
There's a bigger play at hand here, and I'm gonna let my man Darius break it on down. This is what he does.
We did have some predictions last week, right? And one of the ones I didn't get to, I really feel like Xbox is going to try to acquire a Japanese studio. That's like my big long play for this year for them. Their big surprise moment because, traditionally Xbox has done very well in North America, okay in Europe, and not so good in Japan. And Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, he's come out plenty of times over the years and talked about how he's wanted to deepen his relationship and expand Xbox over in Japan. And this, this was a game that showed up. This was a surprise game. They didn't even have this one listed in the blog that they posted. So I think, for it to be like this, series, I know a lot of people may not know what Visions of Mana is. It's a JRPG series that goes back like 30 some odd years. There's like 17 games or something or the other. I've played maybe a few of them. I'm not going to pretend like I know, everything there is to know about Visions of Mana, but I just know it's like an old school JRPG series. And it's good to see that Microsoft is working out this partnership with Square Enix because, we've made the jokes for years that they never, Square didn't like Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy never really came out on Xbox, blah, blah, blah. But you have Final Fantasy 14 coming out on Xbox this year, I believe. You got this game coming out. They had a couple of the Persona games on. They're really trying really hard to hit that Japanese audience. And this is just like another point. Now, what studio, you may ask? I have no idea what studio they could possibly want out of Japan. I think it's going to be something like a smaller indie studio. Actually, that's something that's what I would prefer personally, because then you could have more of those, I don't want to say experimental projects, but something that's kind of like out of the box. A lot of those games actually do pretty well on the Switch too, because they're kind of, mobile and whatnot. But that's just like my big thing here. Like, I was actually pretty excited to see that they had something like this showing up at the Direct. I don't think I'm gonna play it myself. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of Vision of Mana games.
It gives me that Genshin Impact type vibe when I was looking at it.
It's a very like classic. Think like Final Fantasy. I forget what the first Visions of Mana name was actually called. It was something to do with Final Fantasy actually, but it kind of branched off into its own thing. But shout out to Xbox for having this. I mean, like I said, man, like they're more focused on trying to bring in more people from all types of gamers. So they're gonna keep pushing this Japanese agenda, this overseas agenda, Eastern agenda, and I'm glad to see it. You know, gaming is not just, it shouldn't just be US based. There's a lot of talented studios that work all over the world. So, you know, this would be a good,
for sure.
you know, and I'm not sure if this is going to be on Game Pass, but you know, I know that, you know, Hellblade 2 and obviously Indie are you know, going to be on Game Pass. So that's just another thing, you know, another notch in the belt for
yeah.
Xbox,
As far as like Genshin Impact, I meant like the visuals, not the actual like gameplay.
No, yeah.
It kind of like
just
gave
like
me that vibe when I was looking
that
at it.
anime,
like
that very colorful. I don't want to say like kawaii
shading type.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool. Like you never know. Like I said, man, time is very scarce, but I do be looking to just try new things, and it does look cool. It looked like something that I can get into, and
it does.
I see the play. I see the play. Like these are the things we want to talk about and harp on, because I 100% agree with you. I do believe that Xbox, you know, they're smart people, you know what I'm saying? And they know for them to have success, they're going to have to branch out into that market. That's a very huge market. They would be foolish to just think or just focus on studios here and what they can do here.
I mean, they kind of got to, man. Like you're going to hit a point where Game Pass conversion rate's going to slow down in the US at some point. You know, you're going to have the family plan that hopefully launches this year, which would be a big boom for Xbox. But they're, in my opinion, like if you look at like their whole services line and the timeline of it, it's kind of following what Netflix has already done. Netflix used to have that family plan. You know, they kind of got rid of it over time because they realized they were losing money. But they were trading that loss for getting as many people through the door as possible. And that's what Xbox is going to eventually end up trying to do.
So, okay, now we have a game here. Like I said, this is out of my wheelhouse. I don't know about you, but it looked fun.
Is this the what game is this? Yeah, I don't want to take your thunder. What is this? What game is you're talking about?
Is it Ara?
Ara History Untold? Okay. We can talk about it.
My thing is this, right? I'm gonna let you shine. I'm gonna let you have the showroom floor, because like I said, I don't know what's going on here. I watched it and I was like, look, there's something for everybody here. And apparently, like, this game does have a big following.
A huge community, apparently, yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge community. So I'm not going to judge this game, because I don't think it's fair for me to judge this game if I don't know about the game. Like, I literally know nothing. I know it's kind of, I know the gist of it, and I could see where fun can be had. And that's not to say that I won't try it, like, especially, I mean, if it's on Xbox, Game Pass, and you know. But yeah, so I'm looking at you to kind of take this one away, man. So what do we have here?
So from my understanding of what this game kind of looks like to me is that RTS, Civilization. You're kind of you know, you're building up a society going through the ages, and you have these,
look like you're rewriting history,
like these historical essentially that's what you have, these historical figures that give you like certain abilities and stuff for the empires that they may rule. It might just be like nobility or anything, but it's basically like that kind of game, like a, you know, you're starting from cavemen and you're building to become, you know, a spacefaring civilization. This kind of like what was the other game that I was kind of thinking of that kind of follows along like this kind of like
Civilization?
top down view, like Civilization, kind of like that Jurassic Park game. So, yeah, like City Skyline.
See, I tried Skyline, and I tried the Jurassic Park one. It's just
I mean, this is just like really that kind of slower pace. If you're somebody who likes managing like different systems and stuff, you want to control your own city and history,
and I do. I'm just, you know,
and apparently there's some sort of like multiplayer component. I'm not sure. I mean,
that's nuts.
If I'm being honest, man, like, you know, I played a lot of like RTSs when I was in high school. You know, like Command and Conquer was really like the thing. But it's been so long since I've played something like this. Is something that is like really slower paced. Like I said, you know, if you like kind of like micromanaging those kind of systems, and, you know, just like you said, controlling history. I mean, it looks really cool. I think it's not for me personally, but
Yeah,
You
I feel
know,
bad. I don't want to
no,
like
it's not
talk
necessarily to
about
feel
it.
bad, but it's just kind of like one of those things that
Well, I just didn't feel like it was fair, you know?
yeah, the thing I like, right, that these all these studios kind of have their own little personalities where
Mm-hmm.
these people are passionate about the stuff that they make, and that's the one thing that I really love about Xbox is I didn't even know that this studio they own this studio. like, it's just kind of one of those
Boy.
things. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of tight that they're gonna have another. And they kind of have history with like RTSs or the top-down games, like Halo Wars. They just made the Gears game a couple of years ago, Gears Tactics. So they've
Mm-hmm.
always kind of had these types of games in their back pocket, to kind of fill out their library. And I think this is going to be kind of like another thing for them, a little, to fill out that part of the community. Like I said, man, they're really
Yeah.
casting a wide net on the games that not only that
And
their
that's the
studios
good
want to make,
thing,
but
though.
that they're promoting. And
Yeah, not just focus on like pew pew and shooting games
yeah, not just
and
your typical FPS, BR, your third person over the shoulder game like you have with Hellblade, but Xbox is really letting these studios kind of flex their muscles, and we can go ahead and talk about the last game that premiered. And
woo, yes, let's talk about it.
I'm
Let's talk
interested to
about
hear your
it.
thoughts about Avowed. So this is a game that Obsidian is, for those guys who don't know Obsidian, they made like gosh, man, Fallout New Vegas, Outer
What was that other?
Wilds or Outer Worlds, excuse
Yeah.
me. Outer Worlds was pretty fun. I liked it, but I'm curious to hear what your thoughts were because this was like the first real look we got to see
Uh,
of Avowed.
it's gonna be. I don't want to say a hard. I'll say a over the shoulder, off the back foot pass for me.
Oh my god.
I just wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be gentle. We're not gonna go hard body. I'll just say that it was a pass for me. I just got too many. It made me have flashbacks of like, what was the game that just came out? God, it's too Bethesda-y for me. It gave me that.
That's what.
Ah, it just
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it gave me those
Starfield. Is that what you're
vibes.
talking about?
Yeah, Starfield. I just got really bad vibes about this game, to be honest. Like, I was watching it
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I was kind of listening to how they were explaining the game and the way you'll be able to fight people, the combat and stuff. And I don't want to be a rude asshole, but I've heard this before already. I'm literally remember like
Yeah.
games from the past, like really making it seem like the dual wielding and the way that it just looked is just it wasn't really drawing me in from what we saw the last time of Avowed. Like it really didn't change my perspective on the game.
Mm.
I'm still kind of just kind of there with it. Like I'm not if we're being perfectly honest, I'm not really feeling it at all, man. I'm just like I said, maybe it'll come out and change my mind, but and I thought since the last time they showed it and we talked about it,
Yeah.
I was really really hoping that when like I saw it this time, I was like, okay, this is your moment. This is your time to kind of bring DC to your side. And I was sitting there with like just holding my breath, like,
Yeah.
is that it? Is that it? And the more they showed the combat, I was just like, no, no, no. I was like, okay, I checked out. Like I was gone. I checked out. I was out of there. I was like, okay, Avowed may be a skip for me when it drops. So yeah, that's what I can say and being nice because I'm a nice person. But I'm just gonna have to politely pass off the back foot into the end zone, hoping that I could do something in the red zone. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Okay, so I agree with a lot of what you said. So I think that Avowed is what we kind of look at. When we had this whole conversation with about RPGs and just kind of like that Bethesda style, that very it's just not it doesn't look like I would get all the way through this game. You know what I mean? Like it looks fun for what it is, you know, and that's not to say like I think the game's gonna be horrible or anything, but I just feel like there's nothing, just like you said, the game does like differently to the point where I could kind of look past the, you know, the you know, okay, we get a dialogue tree, you choose these couple of things, you know, there's consequences for your actions, but you know, and honestly, I think what ruined a lot of that for me lately is Baldur's Gate 3, because that is a game where you can literally have all these dozens and dozens of different scenarios and things that happen. I feel like this game,
and it matters. See, that's the thing.
Yeah. Like
in
there's
Baldur's
actual
Gate, there's dire consequences and there's game changing consequences. Like it really means something with every conversation that's had.
and you know, I think one thing that I did kind of like about the game that I saw was like the combat's kind of cool. You know, the ability to kind of like freely swap in between these different classes of weapons and stuff is kind of interesting.
But that's cool, right?
You
That's
know,
cool. But visually, was it there for you? Like, to me,
I think the problem with I think what happened with this game is, personally, like if I'm being completely honest, like when they showed that original trailer of the game being kind of more on the realistic side, kind of hitting that more like those Skyrim kind of notes, and then they switched to this, it kind of caused like visual shock to most people, right? Like, because fun fact, a lot of people don't remember when Borderlands was first coming out, it was originally going to be like this super realistic game. Like I bought the Game Informer magazine for it. I remember that, and then they switched over to the cell shading.
That would be weird.
Look up. You should Google Borderlands original art. Like there was actual like gameplay footage of the game when it was realistic.
We'll put it in Discord.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful, but you know it ended up working out for them. And I feel like
I love the way that they went. Good choice.
And I feel like, you know, this situation is one of those situations where the art style may not be working for everyone. Like, I'm okay with it being kind of fantastical, kind of cartoony, you know, exaggerated features. Like, I know a lot of people are talking about like the facial animations and stuff in the gameplay trailer. You know, I can look past a lot of that stuff. I mean, I'm gonna get back to playing Skyrim eventually. You know, like it's definitely on my list, I think, for February. But it's just kind of like what you said. Like, I feel like you're gonna see almost everything this game has to offer within the first half of it, without there being any, you know, how deep does the combat go for people? You know, how deep does the dialogue tree go outside of you just choosing these quote unquote morally gray options? You know, like I think it's what, you know, I say this term all the time, it's a known quantity. I think it's going to be an okay game. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, but you know, I'm kind of with DC on this. I don't think this is going to pique my interest enough, but it's going to be on Game Pass, so I'll try it. Like I'll be
always like the go-to, right? It's
it's going to be on Game Pass. You know,
let's see if I'm surprised, you know, like maybe it, you know, but it was a lot of stuff that I was seeing, man, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was very like disappointed because I was really, really hoping that they would knock it out of the park. Obsidian, they do have a reputation. You know, they have a reputation for making great games.
They make good games.
I think what was it? The Outer Wilds, that was actually a very good game. But I think
it was a smaller game too. But you know,
honestly, I think after playing, I'm probably got about a good 25 hours, maybe 30 hours of Baldur's Gate in, and ain't got no goddamn where. I don't know where the hell I'm at, but I think these choice type games really gonna have to,
these RPGs, man. Like I feel like we're at a point, and I hope, you know, I hope we get to that where RPGs kind of take that next step for me, because I know, you know, the whole AI topic is a hot button topic, and a lot of people hate it for the right reasons. You know, we're gonna talk about what SAG-AFTRA did probably next week. I definitely didn't forget about that shit, but I feel like it's hard to kind of you know, develop choice and have all these expansive dreams for RPGs just because the cost is so high. And you know, it's, you know, Baldur's Gate did something incredible, you know, through crowdfunding, and you know, that game got to be what it was, you know, because of that. But I feel like this is gonna be like, You know, maybe this is a smaller or shorter RPG kind of focused, which I would be fine with. If it's that, you know, if this is kind of like a more self-contained outer worlds Fallout New Vegas type game, I'd be cool with it. You know, give me 40 hours in this, I'm cool. You know, but you know, I think that's about what I had in Starfield, you know, about 40, and I was like, yeah, there's really nothing else kind of compelling me to continue playing. Yeah.
Right. There's nothing really holding you to it. There's no,
Right.
to me, there's no like investment. Like, I'm not sitting here like, okay, what's going to happen at the end? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to keep me from playing. Now, let me tell you something, just a little side note. Baldur's Gate is a funny game, right? Because I've never felt so intimidated on turning a game on, just turning the game on, because this game is unforgiving as hell. Like, keeping your team alive, and they don't make it easy. And you want to keep your team alive because revives and stuff like that, it costs. I believe you can get someone. Don't quote me on this. I'm just playing the game and finding out stuff as I go. But I believe you may get some kind of magic or something to help revive your people. But in the beginning, you know, you have these scrolls, these revive scrolls, and you don't come by those often. So, and then if you buy them, they cost a lot of money, and you're stupid poor in the beginning of the game. So, to say that, it's very challenging. I'm trying to step out and try new things, and I've been playing Baldur's Gate, and it's been whooping my ass. Like, and you know, you have to learn and just look up stuff. And between that and like Monster Hunter, man, like my brain be like fried. Like, I was having so much fun with Monster Hunter until I got to like, I guess you want to say, what is it, the end game? Like when you start really fighting
Are you in high rank? Is that where you are?
Yeah. I just entered high rank, and boy, you talking about a man on a cart. All right. A man on a cart. All you see is my little cart. You'll see today if you guys stick around, and you'll see me on my little cart just getting carted away.
But that's the thing though, man. Like, you know, I feel like this year, you know, I think overall the Xbox show I thought it was good. You know, I'll give it A-.
I give it a strong 8.
Yeah, I give
it a strong 8.
I think it was a great show. It was, you know, them showing off some of the smaller projects that may not have gotten the shine in the summertime. You know, we got
just as important. I believe
it is, and I think this once again kind of fills out the portfolio. You know, I'm curious what we get later in the years. They kind of integrate Activision in. You know, they got a lot of.
We'll get more directs too.
Cool.
I believe
hopefully
in a couple of months.
Hopefully we do. I would say maybe 2 a year is fine. Like maybe they do one in the winter.
I'm down for that. Don't direct us to that.
Because I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I'm not like I'm not a super big fan of the Video Game Awards, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, I think that was cool, man. I'm excited to see more.
Check out the Patreon and see why Darius doesn't like the music awards.
The Video Game Award. I'm not. Besides the fact that
music awards, boy, I'm tripping.
Besides the fact that I'm not just a big award show guy, I think there's just better ways to present games. But I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Thank you guys for hanging out for episode 176, man. DC, you know, if you want to give us a good, nice little closeout, man.
Oh man, I got the floor. Like, hold on. I got the floor.
Floor skis.
And I'm so unprepared. Let's see. How we're gonna close this thing out. First of all, we want to give a shout out to the foundation, as I like to call it. We got our lovely chat here. We got Weenie in the building. We got Dark Star in the building, and quite a few other people. Thank you guys for giving us your time, because time is precious and time is valuable. Remember that. So we love it. We love it. I also want to give a shout out. I don't care if people say, you know, get off of them. You riding the wave. I don't care. A good product is a good product, damn it. And I want to give a shout out to our guy Amaze, man. Look, what that guy is doing on Kick with his talent show format, Uprise, it's to be it's something that definitely got my creative brain flowing. Me and Darius been tossing ideas back and forth, but what he's doing over there is exactly what this industry needs. It needs a breath of fresh air. You know, we need to bring more of what you love into this space. So I advise you guys really, really, really go over there to Kick and check out Amaze. Or they have it. What is it? Friday nights.
I believe it's Friday night, something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get a time. It's gonna be posted in the Discord and on my Twitter page. I posted a few times. The reason why I'm talking about it so much is because I truly do think it's a dope idea. And you know, if it's a dope idea, I'm gonna give it praise. Last night was a hell of a show, man. If you have the VODs up, go check the VODs out. I promise you, if you're a music lover, you're gonna love it. I love music. That's probably why I love it so much. But yeah, definitely a lot of dope talent. Block out the noise, as Amaze would say, and just see for yourself, man. Very, very good. Besides that, I really don't have anything else to say. I hope you guys have a good Saturday and stay warm because it's cold as hell outside.
Thank you guys for hanging out, man. That's going to be the end of the episode. Make sure you guys check us out on YouTube, Super Weapon Twitter. Check out our Super Weapon Discord as well. I
got the shorts going. Hey,
yes, we got shorts up. Please make sure you guys go like those shorts, man. It helps out a lot. But
yeah, those shits are hard to make. Love me.
They are.
Please.
Get the template. It's good though. But appreciate you guys for hanging out. It's going to be in the audio version. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Oh.